Spouses worry, parents worry, friends and families worry. A misperception, mistrust, overreaction, confrontation, misunderstanding. In a few seconds, lives are changed forever. Devastating results for a family and community. Everybody's somebody's baby.
Hi, my name is Judge Patrick McGraw. It's important to me all Saginaw County families go home safely at the end of the day.
Hi, I'm Michael Marsh. I'm an assistant prosecuting attorney for the County of Saginaw. It's important to me that you all make it home safely each night.
I'm Eric Potus, and it's important to me my wife makes it home at night.
I'm Dr. Tracy Potus, Eric's wife. I'm an emergency room physician, and it is important to me that everybody makes it home safe at night.
My name is Letitia, and it's important to me that my son gets home safe at night.
Hi, my name is Devin Cirillo. I'm Letitia's son.
Viral videos sometimes depict the most extreme interactions between youth and law enforcement.
Hey, speaking of the police. Hey, man, I don't know about y'all cops here, man. I'm out, man. I'm gone.
How do we pay less attention to the extremes and focus on a common ground?
Hey, man, we're playing ball.
With teamwork, we'll get there.
Hey, man, y'all can't hoop with us, man. Y'all old, man. Y'all ain't ready for us, man.
Oh, that's I'm not old.
How do we get from an idea to this point of common ground? We'll come back to the basketball in a little while. First, we have to establish a spirit of cooperation.
Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a school social worker and a mother. It is important to me that my son Daniel come home safely every night.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Daniel, I'm Sonia's son.
I'm Debbie. Everybody's somebody's baby. And this is my baby, Senior Airman Adam Bonda Gonzalez II.
Hi, I'm Lark, and it's important to me that my son comes home safe every night.
Hi, I'm Christian, his son.
My name is Officer Booth, and it's important that my partner makes it home at the end of his shift.
I'm Officer Beatty, and I'm her partner. It's important that all Saginaw officers make it home safely at the end of their shift.
The common ground, everybody is somebody's baby. But sometimes perceptions and previous experiences can cause us to buy into stereotypes.
Kids think cops are jerks, and cops think kids are jerks.
It's time for us to explore that stigma.
It's not just a city issue. It's everywhere.
And it took months of collaboration between law enforcement in Saginaw County Mental Health, schools, and youth to put us on a different path. Everybody's somebody's baby, meaning that everybody means something to someone, and everyone's life has value. Law enforcement and youth got together in the same room, and we started the dialogue to identify and address these issues. If you could be part of training law enforcement on how to build better relationships with youth, what feedback, ideas, or suggestions would you give to law enforcement?
Respect the end of the conversation that we're having, then it ain't gonna work out. Now I understand, us youth, we gotta respect the adults, because you know they adults. But like if an adult comes to us in a disrespectful way, then the youth gonna get more, kind of angry and not respect y'all.
That is absolutely correct. I think respect is given to those who respect others. And us being in a position of authority or power, we need to understand that the way we talk to people and the way we handle things may not be okay as sometimes, and sometimes it is okay to talk to people the way you need to get the job done.
Because if you treat people like you would like to be treated, you will get that same respect back. In my contact with youth over the years, I've always had a philosophy to always bring myself down to the youth level. I never projected myself or tried to ever project myself that I was better than them. I always saw everybody on a level playing field. What they have to say is equally as important as what you will have back to say to them. That's very important.
This is the problem I see a lot, is that a lot of the time, as police officers, we think we don't have time. We get a call, we get there, we want to handle it, we want to leave. And so that projects. People can see that, and nobody reads people better than kids. Young people, young adults. Young people know how to read that. When we walk into their house, if we feel and act like we don't have time for them, they're going to read that, and then they're going to treat us the way we have projected to them. But then we get angry as police officers, right? We get angry, and what's the first thing on our mind? Well, you're going to call the police, and then I come here, and nobody wants to do what I tell them. We shouldn't really dictate to people unless we have to, what they have to do. I've worked with people, and we've walked into houses, and I've seen officers put their hands in their pockets, roll their eyes, look up at the ceiling, look around. Those people got turned off. They didn't even want us there anymore. They would rather fight it out amongst themselves than have the police standing in the living room doing that. And young people feel that same way. The other thing we don't do is if we see a police officer, one of our brethren, going down a road that we can tell is not working, we never step in and say, hey, let me talk to him. We always like, it's your call. You got to write this. I don't. Do whatever you're going to do. I'm just going to leave when you leave. That's not the attitude we should be taking, especially now with the way the world is today.
And it don't take a lot of time to establish a relationship with kids, you know, like it don't take nothing no less than a minute, actually. Up in the summertime, I was hooping with my friends. The cop car rolled past. Before he pulled up, he got on the microphone and said 3, 2, 1, then honked the horn or whatever. You know, it kind of made me smile. Yeah, just little stuff like that because it could establish a relationship.
And I'd just like to comment on that because I've been to several meetings throughout the community, Gerald, and I use that example that you gave, and that really hit home to me, and that it only takes a few seconds or a minute to establish the beginnings of a positive relationship. So I thank you for sharing that story. That sometimes we don't always have that luxury to approach somebody and say, hey, how are you doing? When it's a call that there could be safety issues involved. And I think that's important to keep that in mind as well.
Everyone sort of has a view of, you know, how police should act, how youth should act, how people should act in the presence of others. And when youth feel in any way that anybody else has disrespected them or not acted in that way, a lot of them, their first reaction is aggressive towards that. Not physically aggressive, but sort of they turn off, they shut down, they say, well, if this person isn't treating me that way, I shouldn't have to really consider what they're saying.
I agree with you totally. And there is big responsibility with everything, but also just interacting with young people. We need more help as far as police officers. We need you guys' help to get your friends involved, because if we have the same people that come to meetings, then what point are we, getting across? What's actually being done?
But some of the kids that I played basketball with, I ran into since then. And, people that would never have walked up and said, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. Before have walked up to me. People that I have walked up to and said, hey, how you doing? Spoke to me instead of just walking away. That would not have happened before. Things like that. If we don't get involved in our communities, and it's really easy for police officers to get involved in their actual community where they live. It's harder to get involved in the actual communities that need it where we work, if that makes sense to you. That's what needs to be done.
In 2015, law enforcement needs to take a little bit more of a step to bring youth to our side. And I think it's important that law enforcement, that youth see policemen not dressed like that, but be a human being and be the person he is when he doesn't have his uniform on. And I think that's very important for youth to see us as really who we are, not the blue uniform or brown uniform that we wear. So very important to me.
They have to do the worst things you guys could think of to people, to take away their kids if the parents aren't taking care of them well. And they probably don't like doing that, but they're doing the right thing.
Out in public, is a parent say to their kid, look, there's an officer, you do something bad, they're going to take you. That's the absolute worst thing that a parent can tell a child, because we don't want them to think that. I mean, I'm not there to take a kid to juvenile or take them to jail, or I don't like doing any of that. I like to have positive interaction with kids.
An officer really going into a situation with a youth call, there's a lot of different ways an officer can handle a situation. And it has less to do with the department they work for and more that individual officer based on their past experience. So you might run into one officer one day who's going to handle a situation in a way that you like, and you might run into another officer another day in a very similar situation, and they might choose to handle that situation in a completely different way that maybe you don't like as much. Because it's more the individual officer's choice on how they're going to handle a situation versus what department they work for. We're open to ideas. We're there to help solve the problem, not to make it worse.
Now, some other things y'all could do is, you know, you could have like a few officers just contribute their day, for like not their day, but like a couple hours, just go out to the youth in public, just like a few youth, like unnoticeably, and just like hang out with them, just like play football with them, play catch with them, you know, that youth, like if somebody did that with me, like police officer, you know, I go tell my friends, hey bro, like a police officer came to me, he was playing catch with us, you know, like they ain't all bad.
As a whole in our county, don't necessarily take it as we don't want to be there talking with you or we don't want to be doing this stuff. We probably really do. There's a few of us that I know like enjoy that type of interaction, but our manpower is really low for the whole entire county.
It don't have to take like long at all. Like you could just like be driving past, see you, hey man, I like your shoes. And like, stuff like that.
I'll keep that in mind next time. I'll put that out on the PA.
I know what it's like to grow up in this city. I know what it's like to live in this city. I still live in the city on the same side of the town. I go home to the same people, the same neighborhood, the same people that I grew up with, and they don't have a problem with me. Anytime I'm working or not working, I speak to the young people. I play basketball just about every morning. Anytime I'm on call and I go to a house and somebody's playing football, basketball, baseball, I stop and I'm there for 30 minutes and I'm playing ball. I mean, I'm going to a call anytime and I do like this, peace, while kids are walking by and they go, what the heck? You know, I do it a lot. I go, peace, peace, and they're looking at me like, he's crazy, he's nuts. But I mean, that's as much as I can do. That's the best I can do until I have free time.
I think like a suggestion that we can maybe capture those moments, like the youth and the younger generation are really photogenic. They want to like just record everything, and a lot of recordings are negative right now, especially on social media. So I think if we can get some of those positive pictures or positive recordings, and even for the youth, I mean, if you spot an officer playing with you or anything like that, maybe, hey, can we take a picture real quick, and then, you know, maybe post that. You know, post those positives and instead of the negatives, or try to override social media with more positive. I think that can like help out a lot.
When you look on social media, you mostly see what officers do to young people. And even as myself, and I go around, and it's even me helping youth understand that all police officers aren't bad, I'm still shaken up because I've seen different things happen, not just within my community, but like all over the world.
The most successful officers out there, no matter what department they work for and would address your concerns, are the officers that no matter what they show up for, what they're there for, that they take a few extra minutes to listen.
There's a lot of negativity, especially towards law enforcement, where the whole story is not out there. And we see it a lot with youth too. There'll just be a clip of two young people fighting and hitting each other with chairs, but we don't know what led up to that. I'm just as guilty as other officers can probably back me on this. We may show up with an attitude because the way we were dispatched to that call. And then a lot of times we show up and emotions are high when we get there. And sometimes there's one officer, two officers trying to calm down a group of 12. And sometimes it doesn't work. So we're going to raise our voice. We're coming into your home, basically telling you this is our house now until we know what's going on. So I'll apologize to that point because we don't know what we're going into a lot of times.
I want respect, and I'll give you respect, but the second you lose me with it, it's kind of over from there. But like he said, we're police. We're here to enforce the law. That's what we're doing. So along with respect, it needs to be patience on both ends. Everybody needs to calm down, step back a little bit, and think about what the situation looks like. And if that can happen a little bit more, I think that respect would start coming out more.
I said, hey man, I like pretend like you're putting the cuffs on me or something like that. And he said, hey man, I don't want that kind of image of me out there because I don't want to be looked at as the bad guy. And so that really touched me. I'm like, wow, he actually cares about his image and our image as youth and for him as well.
I mean, there's some things that, like, society, like, you just cannot change. You know, things is going to be the way they're going to be, you know. There's going to be people that's going to say, you know, oh, I ain't no snitch, man, I ain't going to do that. Those people are just stubborn, you know. Work with the people you can work with. I mean, like, if somebody don't want to do something, you know, they're not going to do it. They're just going to keep on doing what they've been doing. So, I mean, like, yeah.
Like, youth voice is very powerful, and we're getting a lot of clarification, a lot of things getting cleared up, and you're hearing right from the officers of how they actually feel versus what you think they probably feel, which is not necessarily true all the time. So I think this dialogue was, like, very, very great, and just the outcomes of it.
Like, it starts with the individual, and I think that's the most important thing, because we can't just expect other people to change without changing ourselves first.
If I come in the situation and I've never had any contact with you before, give me the benefit of the doubt. I've been in homes where a small little kid, 3, 4, 5 years old, will tell me, I don't like the cop. Well, why don't you like the cops? My mommy told me I don't like the cops. You know, so we're battling quite a bit.
And I think something that we need to keep in mind as officers, and I myself have forgotten this at times, but that the people that we're making impressions on now, you guys, you youth, you're the ones that when we get old, we're going to rely on you.
Hi, I'm Pastor Bowen, and it's important that we treat everyone with dignity and respect so everyone can make it home safely.
My name is Bridie, and it is important to our family that my partner come home safe every night.
Hi, I'm Janelle, Bridie's spouse, and it's important that all families, their loved ones, come home safely.
I'm Nora, and it's important to me that my granddaughter comes home safe every night.
The open dialogue went on for more than an hour. The conversation was candid and intense, but in the end, we found it was the beginning of genuine relationships. And now, back to the basketball.
Shoot it, shoot it. Good job.
You know, and if one person gets touched by this video and it saves a life, that's a miracle.
What a great atmosphere this created, open discussion, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Hi, I'm Janessa, and being a part of this video was very interesting, and it was a big eye-opener.